Good evening, all of you. Yeah, maybe I'll talk about my own experiences. In the initial days when the online learning started, I was just struggling, how do we actually teach online? Though I had few experiences earlier, but still, how do we actually do it? Particularly considering the subject which I was offering, where formulae had to be written and equations had to be written. But then, thanks to the institute where they gave many courses in between, like Moodle courses, how do you start with, etc., and what are the tablets which you can make use of to, use it as a board. So then, buying that and then fixing that and start writing as a board. In fact, I remember, other than the PPT which I had for the lectures, I used to have a PPT which I used to name it as board. So that, whenever I feel like using a board, I used to make use of that so that I don't lose the classroom experience. So that was about, writing it and using it as a board. The other problem which I faced was about interacting with the students. So one of the methods which I believe in classroom experience is that I interact with the students, and then questions come in, and then you talk to them, and so that's a way in which generally I keep taking a lecture, which I was really struggling. How do we do that? And then slowly I figured out, and then kept talking to them, and then so that they are forced to respond. So I could figure out that this is a way in which probably you could interact with the student even in an online kind of platform. So slowly, I mean, in fact, ours was a half semester course when I started with this online teaching. Initial lectures was really a struggle, but as it kept going, slowly, probably the confidence came in that this is a way in which probably I can borrow the same ideas of however I deliver a lecture in an online mode. Maybe at the end of one semester, I mean, the next course when it started, I think, more or less the comfort zone was there to offer. But I don't know how students felt, but at least as a teacher, however you offer in a classroom, slowly that kind of thing started setting in. But we really miss a lot. Say, for example, we ask them to do some problems, and I generally go around the students to see what they're doing. And if some people are not able to do, you start taking from there, and then take the lecture from there. That was completely missing. So you have to just look at the laptop and then assume that they're doing it, or you need to get into a different way of teaching the same kind of component. So that is something missing. And the other thing is, not seeing those young minds and young people in front of you is really a total miss. So these are some of the the minus which are there in online learning. And another thing is, I come from a business school with MBA where I teach MBA students. So that's another thing where these students have already seen the outside world, and then they are coming to these lectures. So engaging them online is even more challenge in terms of how do we make it engaging. So yes, there are many challenges, but now coming to the positive aspect of it, the thing is, we've all opened up the gates to the various technology which is there, forcefully during the COVID days. And therefore, now saying that, we are going to go back to the complete, offline classroom, I don't think that's going to be possible, where we need to embrace some of these technologies as we go ahead and try and say what is the best thing which we can actually borrow from this, online learning, and blend it along with the classroom teaching, and then see how best we can offer it to them. So that's something, which I feel is a way to go ahead. So a few points about, say, one thing is about the span of attention which the students have. That's really a challenge. At least when it's going to be offline, we are there in front of them, and then they're forced to at least pretend that as if they are understanding what's happening, which is not there in online learning, because they have all of the distractions which are there. So one problem solution to this is, we need to make the content engaging, if at all we plan to do this blended learning. So the content needs to be really engaging. One way of doing this is probably, project-based kind of, content is what, probably will make them probably discuss with others and then come up with some kind of pure kind of learning and then contribute to this kind of blended learning. So that's one thing. The other thing is about, say look at the MBA, which is 2 years. So one thought is, if at all we get into blended learning someday in the future, one particular year, the first year can be completely offline learning, where we choose the subjects in such a way that it's classroom intensive. The other kind of year can be probably online learning, where people can actually participate from wherever they are. So that could give them some flexibility in joining such a program. So anyway, the point which I'm trying to say is we can probably think of some innovative ways of making use of this blended learning as we go ahead, maybe in some time in future. So this is the point which I wanted to say.